Welcome to this breakout session, Money Matters, how to find it, spend it wisely, and manage it as an entrepreneur. Today, I am very excited to be part of a kick-ass panel of powerful ladies here to help you take your business to the next level. My name is Joyce Rojas. I'm a mindset coach specializing in money mindset. I'm the owner of My Success Studio, a mentoring business designed to help women and some smart men create the business and financial freedom they truly want without working so damn hard for it. And today I'm happy to be joined by the lovely Mary Baker, Shai Hopkins, and Lindsey Holmes. And I'll ask you ladies to introduce yourself.
Hello, everyone. My name is Mary Baker. I am the CEO and founder of Baker Tax and Accounting Services. We provide tax, accounting, and bookkeeping services to small and mid-sized businesses. And our interest is that we mind your business. Baker Tax and Accounting Service, Mary Baker. Thank you.
Awesome. Shai?
Hi, my name is Shai Hopkins. I am the owner, CEO, and founder of Amani Hopkins LLC, and we are a marketing firm that supports creative companies, creative small businesses, whether it's music or art or fashion design. We help support them in marketing spaces.
Awesome. Thank you. And Lindsey?
I'm Lindsey Holmes. I'm the owner and lead strategist of Usable Tech Co. We are an integrated marketing firm specializing in digital marketing campaigns, developing mobile apps, and helping businesses scale online.
Wonderful. I am so excited and happy to be with you here today. And thank you for introducing yourselves. So let's get right into it. Let's get started with the first question. So first question is, pivoting is the new word on everyone's lips. I'm sure all of you have heard that. How do you quickly shift your business model to survive, particularly during times of crisis? And I'm going to tap into Lindsey Holmes for this.
I think it's just being entrepreneurially minded. I don't want to say I wait for a crisis, but I often don't shy from them because I feel like those are opportunities to set yourself aside if you are indeed an entrepreneur and find the need. I'll tell you, in this pandemic, though I have a marketing agency, I've always known how to go after money for my own firm in terms of grants and with the different loan programs that were coming out with the federal government, I found a way to easily procure that money, started talking to other businesses about procuring that money, and found my way into creating a business with it. And so, if you just have an entrepreneurial mindset, you'll find that the pivot will kind of just happen for you. Typically it would be completely different from my wheelhouse beyond the fact that I help small businesses every day, find money in terms of branding themselves to get more money in their businesses. So this is a probably more of a robust pivot, but it's been, it's been the way that I've been able to stay afloat in this business with another sort of, notch in my wheelhouse.
Awesome, thank you. And then how about Shai? Do you have any input?
Yeah, so it's really, really crucial for you to be able to be entrepreneurial, just like Lindsey said. You need to be able to kind of see what options there are that are available to you at any given time, but during a moment of crisis or a period of crisis, you need to kind of try to figure it out, kind of have your ear to the ground to see what options are available to you, especially from different organizations that may be able to help you, like your chambers of commerces, like your small business development centers, like your other small business organizations or mid-sized business organizations. And then also there are some resources that are available to you in the public space as well, as I know Facebook, Google, Amazon, some of them actually have some pretty good programs to help small businesses. But I think for the most part, you kind of have to figure out where you fit in, because some things may be okay for some businesses, but not okay for your business. Like I have some musicians who are clients, and they're struggling right now during COVID-19. So they're not able to work, they're not able to play, and if they are able to go out and play in the public, then that's going to bring a whole different level of vulnerability to them physically, and of course that bleeds into everything else. So sometimes you just have to kind of figure out where you fit in, and sometimes that means you have to kind of lay back a little bit just to learn to see what's available, watch to see what's going on, but then be ready to pounce when you do see some opportunities. You know, you always have to keep thinking, be ready to stick and move.
Great. So then pretty much what I'm hearing is making sure that you find out what's available to you right now, right? So then that's going to be something that you have to do real quick. What type of help is out there? And then also to really look at the changes that have happened during this pandemic, right? And how everything is changing because of it, and how your business fits in. What can your business do? Even if it means changing it a bit, you know, shifting just how you're doing business is going to be very crucial in just staying on top of what's happening. If the world is changing fast, then your business has to change faster, right? So pretty much. All right, thank you, ladies. I'm going to move on to question number 2. Just as important as managing money is managing mindset. What are some strategies for managing mindset? And so since I'm a mindset coach, I'm going to start off by answering that. Number 1 is to anticipate and prepare. Our bodies are biologically designed to freak out when something unexpected or new is happening. Just biologically, they're designed to either fight or flee. But when it doesn't make sense to do either of those, what happens is we freeze. And so typically that is what's happening in today's world, because there isn't any saber-toothed tiger, you know, following us or trying to eat us, right? So we end up freezing, and this does not help. What does help is to anticipate and prepare. So typically what I tell clients is anticipate the worst case scenario and prepare for it, but expect the best. So what do I mean by that? I mean that just understand what can possibly happen to you on a personal level. So recession time, and I mean, it's no secret, recession is here, and we saw it during the pandemic. We saw it in March. And so if the worst case scenario is, okay, my business is going to lose X amount of money, or I may lose my business, instead of freaking out about it, sit down and prepare. So write down, what's the worst case scenario, and how can I prepare for that worst case scenario? However, do not live there. Do not live in the worst case scenario, because what you want to do is you want to expect the best. So continue to move into that mindset of expecting the best, but preparing for what could possibly happen. And so the other thing that I have is perspective. That's tip number 2, is learning how to find the gold nugget in the shit. That is one of my sayings. I tell my clients that all the time. Learn to find the gold nugget in the shit. So what does that mean? It means just noticing the blessing in what is. You know, if we start looking at this as Is this truly an awful pandemic, or is it an opportunity for the next stage of your life? Is it an opportunity for you to dramatically change your business to work in your favor? And so those are the two mindset shifts that I have for you today. And I'd love your help on this too, Lindsey. So if you have any feedback on it, love to hear it.
Yeah, so I think in hearing you talk about mindset, I think that is such a holistic approach to this. I think that is something that will make us based on our backgrounds, on our parents' thinking, based on the flow that we've had as entrepreneurs thus far, based on the fact, as to whether you've experienced this before or not. And I think, as you mentioned, this really can be a whirlwind. I think personally, I try to be positive every day, and it's actually an activity that I have to try at times. And so being mindful of that, being affirmative, making sure that I don't really separate my business or my entrepreneurial mindset from my spirituality has really helped me during times like this. And as you mentioned, if your mindset is there, you will see, the golden nugget in the ship. So like I said, every time I've experienced a crisis like this, and whether it's been a pandemic, like nobody's experienced this, but something else, like I said, I don't want to say I get excited, but I often know that I'll be okay. And I think it's that's 80% of the battle. So like I said, I look for opportunities, and then for me, if I can find an opportunity to kind of give, it's almost like, if I sort of have that agreement with the universe that I'm going to do something with the intention of helping, then I find that opportunities are just automatically drawn to me. At times, this feels very ethereal to people. If you're not like super, spiritual, it may seem a little too much in that realm, but I've just never really been able to separate my business from my spirituality. And I feel like it just works for me. So that's kind of been my approach in terms of mindset. So, I think actionably, I make sure that I still do the sort of goal setting activities that I do at any other time. I make sure that I still read the same affirmations that I do at any other time. But I'm just a little more vigilant, and it's a little more of a test of my faith. But, I think that it's a test that I've been preparing for a long time, because I haven't had to experience a pandemic. And so hopefully, I can continue to benefit from that work, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and I love that, because typically what people do is they kind of separate business and spirituality. But for you, what's actually helped you the most is actually putting together and just knowing that that's part of your business.
Right.
So thank you. Thank you for that. So we're going to move on to question number 3. What concrete steps can I take as an entrepreneur to find money? And I am going to ask Mary Baker to help me out with that one.
Okay, thank you, Joyce. I have 5 steps, the concrete steps that an entrepreneur can take to find money. The first step, and the number 1 step, is to create a business plan. You must have some type of business plan when you're seeking out money, because if anyone who's going to give you money, they want to know, what is your business plan? How are you planning on paying them back? How you're going to receive income. So that's very important, is seeking some type of business plan. The second one I always say is create some type of financial reports. You must have financial reports. It makes you look like you know what you're talking about with your business. You have it all together. So when you're walking into a bank, or if you're walking into any organization asking for a business loan, you know what's going on. They know you understand your business and you're serious if you're coming there with some type of numbers. The third thing I say you must have if you're looking for any funding is credit. Your credit must be excellent or satisfactory in order to receive any type of funding. As business owners, we tend to forget that we need credit because that's how people just judge us sometimes by our credit in this world today. So as a business owner, you need to establish some type of credit or your credit needs to be in good standing. Just so happened with what's going on with the COVID, and when we are applying for businesses, I have known some of my business owners because their credit was not up to par, they were denied business loans. The next thing is to share your ideal. You may have some great, nice people that wants to be angel investors that would love to invest in your business. So share your ideals, share it with some friends, families, and others who would like to invest in your business and give you some type of fundings. These are some of the steps that you need to take in order to get to the point where you can seek some funding as a startup business or a business that's existing and need additional funding. But it's so important that when you do that, you present yourself as having your numbers together, knowing what's going on in your business so people can be convinced that you will be a success with your business. So those are some of the steps that I suggest, concrete steps in finding money for your business.
Awesome. And then where would you recommend that they go to for these things? Because what I heard is create a business plan, a financial report, work on your credit, and then share your ideas with other people in case they want to be angel investors. Where would you recommend people go for help on creating a business plan and financial reports?
So you can go to, they have SBA, which is a great resource. They have other nonprofit organizations out there where you can online, you have SBDC, you have some organizations in the state of New Jersey, UCECD. These are organizations that will provide you these business plan services for free that you can go to and also assist you in getting funding at a reduced interest rate. So those are some of the main resources that you can get this service for free.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Mary.
You're welcome.
And how about you, Shai? Anything that you can add?
Yeah, I 100% agree with everything that Mary said. I also kind of want to add that there, of course, being that we're in the pandemic, things are a little bit different. So grants are more available to small businesses than they usually are. So definitely take a look at your state government to see if there are any grants available. I know here in New Jersey, the NJEDA has several grants that are available to small businesses. In addition to your local and county governments, they may have some opportunities available as well. But you have to kind of keep looking around. Definitely reach out to your scores, your SBDCs, your chambers to see, you know, what other options there are that are available to you in addition to the regular SBA loans, because times are very different right now. So again, you have to kind of stick and move, and that comes with money as well.
Awesome. Well, thank you. Thank you, ladies. And so we will go on to question number 4. How can I effectively manage money once I have it? And so I'm going to lean on you, Mary, for this question.
So one of the great way, and I know everyone hears this all the time, to manage your money is to create a budget. You need a budget. It doesn't take long to sit down and just write down what you're spending, what you will be spending. By creating a budget, you see a picture of what's going on in your business. Also, the budget would help you in how many sales or products that you have to, sell, just to be within your budget. The second thing is to understand your expenses. What are you spending? And why are you spending? Is what you're spending bringing in enough money to cover that expense? That is so important. So you need to sit down and look at your expenses and determine, do you need these expenses? Are they helping you to bring in income? What can I eliminate? What do I no longer need? And eliminate that expense. The third thing is to understand your income. This is so important, and when you're running your finances, your business, is understanding what type of income you have coming in. Who is your largest client? What are you doing? What is bringing in the most income for you? Where do I need to focus so that I can bring in that income to stay in limits within my budget? Okay. The third thing, as I always go back to, is consolidate your debt. And the reason why I say that, I always go back to your credit. A lot of people do not realize, and I always say this, credit is more than money to you. Because whatever you do personally or in your business nowadays, company runs your credit because they want to see if you're a risk. And that's how they charge their fees. Insurance companies, they charge a fee by your credit. So which is also important. The third thing I say, or the fourth, is create some type of emergency fund. We all should have learned this lesson with COVID. Um, all of our businesses has changed. Things has changed personally, finance, and so we needed some type of emergency fund to fall back on. If we haven't learned this lesson now, we need to create some type of emergency fund. At least 15% of what your monthly income is, you should have some money set aside at all times. Um, Look at your credit report. And the last thing I always say is retirement fund. If you're young, we don't think about these things right now. If you're younger adult, you don't think about it, but we also need to set aside some type of retirement fund for in the future. We don't just need to think about the present, we also need to think about the future when it comes to finance. And that's a strategy that needs to be put in place now in our lives. So those are some of the ways you need to manage your money. But the top one is create a budget. That is so important.
Awesome. And I completely agree with everything that you said. My time in banking and as a financial advisor taught me, really a lot about money. And I learned one main thing. And one main thing is that you can either make more or spend less.
Right.
That's pretty much it. It's that simple.
Yes.
And so if I was to add to anything that you said, I tell my clients when I'm doing the money mentoring piece, I let them know, hey, these are the four most important numbers in your life. It's how much you make, how much you spend, how much you save, and what you want. Those are four important numbers. So you said it exactly, Mary. Those were the first three that you said. It's make, spend, save, right? And the other one, the fourth one, is what you want. That's really important too. I usually have my entrepreneurs sit down and decide what they want because we get so caught up in what's happening, right? We get so caught up in the past that we don't think, wait a minute, hold up. That's what I made last year. And that's what typically happens. But what do I want to make? What do I want to create? So taking your mindset to go from, oh, this is what happens to this is what I want to create is a shift. And so what that you want your company to be making this month, next year, and how then can you make that happen? But there's another little shift to that. There is why you want that. And that right there is going to be the fuel you need to make it happen. When you understand your why behind what you want to make in your business, when you understand your why behind your business in general, is a game changer. Because tapping into that why is going to be what gets you up in the morning. Not like, oh yeah, I want to make $500,000 next year. Great, that has absolutely zero emotion to it. And money is an emotional thing. So we need to find out why we're in business. Why is it that we do this on a daily basis? Because things get hard. And when stuff starts getting hard, it's tapping into the why that's going to keep you going and keep you in the right direction.
Exactly.
True. That's true. Yes.
Right. And then the other thing, if I was to say, another tip is make sure that your money is making babies. Like, I'm done making babies. There's no babies coming from me anymore, but my money can be making babies. So make sure that you're putting it into something where your money's making babies and not your emergency funds. Mary, you said, hey, make sure you have emergency funds. Do not invest your emergency funds. Emergency funds are for emergency. Even if they're not making anything, it's okay. But your short-term and your long-term money need to be making babies, depending on how long it is that you're going to be using them. So look for different opportunities on how to do that. Right now, in this type of environment, something like an investment home could be an opportunity. People could be wanting to sell their businesses, and you could be in a position to buy the business or buy a book. Yes, you can still look at index funds, ETFs, things like that, actual stocks. I would say be careful at this time in the environment and in the market, but those are different things that you can consider if you do have money, on how to begin putting it together.
Yes.
So thank you for that. And so that was actually my last question, but I'd actually like to hear from you ladies in regards to maybe something that, if you were to have someone sitting in front of you, what would be your biggest just a phrase or something or a message that you would want to give anybody that's coming to you for help? What's like your words of wisdom?
I'd say understand inflation and deflation. I've owned several businesses in my life. Never been through a recession for whatever reason. Just by nature of the businesses. Before this business, I owned a real estate brokerage. I've always really tried to understand more concrete financial things in tandem with this sort of passion business that I would have. And I never really got a good grasp on that until now, even in terms of me wanting to, have prices go really, really low so that I can take advantage of them, seeing these companies go into bankruptcy, unfortunately, and me wanting to run out to all these sales. But now that I've learned more about money and, like I said, inflation versus deflation, I'm starting to understand that that's not necessarily the best thing. That's also influenced where I've invested right now. I've always been a big crypto girl. I'm really into cryptocurrency. I got into it really early on. And just some things that I've seen around deflation and inflation have told me that that's a pretty good place to sit. Cash is also a pretty good place to sit, whereas I never really thought that would be, because I've always been taught to, even if it's a little bit, have your money make some kind of money. But I just think that we are in a space that doesn't need to make us scared, but that is different and that is rapidly changing, and that needs to make us more vigilant. And so I would say to people, understand money, understand the economy, understand what's going on, and don't get scared, but move accordingly.
Awesome. How about you, Mary?
So mine would be always check your checker. And so I always say this, coming from accountant. I have people in front of me, if people are managing your books or you always, even if you are managing your book, you should always have someone check you or who's ever running your book. It's so important that you as the entrepreneur have a understanding of what's going on in your business and the finances, but there's always someone that can probably see it from a different set of eyes that can give you advice. So I always say check your checker.
Nice, I love it. And Shai.
I would say to keep your ear to the ground. Always see what options are available to you, and don't be afraid to learn about how to manage your money best. You know, in addition to, of course, whatever is available to you, but you still need to be able to dig in and understand what's going on with your money. You know, understand how you'd be able to project for the next 5 years or so. Like Mary just said, to be able to check the checker. You know, it's really, really important to be able to do that. So keep your ear to the ground to make sure that you're aware of what's available to you, but don't be afraid. Just got to go for it.
Right. That's good. That's good.
Thank you. And if I was to say anything and add to that, it would be to seek someone out, that it's okay to need help. I think sometimes as entrepreneurs, we want to do everything ourselves. We want to prove that we can do it. You know, we're proving to other people, we're proving to ourselves. There's nothing to prove. You know, it's okay to sometimes need help and need advice and seek someone out that can help you. So begin looking at the people that you have around you. And this is huge for me, because the people that you have around you can either make you or break you, you know? So a couple of things to think about is, who do you go to for mentorship? You know, who do you go to for advice? And who do you go to for emotional help, right? So are the people that you're going to for advice, do you have people? Do you have an accountant? Do you have an advisor? Do you have a money mentor? Do you have an entrepreneur that's already been there, done that, then you can reach out to and say, hey, you know what? I'm stuck here. What are you doing? So have those people. And then on the emotional side, make sure that the people that are around you can help you emotionally and not suck you dry emotionally. Remember that there's energy vampires out there, right? And in times where it's hard for you, it's going to be harder if you have other people, you know, leeching your energy. So make sure that you check to see who's around you. And sometimes it's okay to outgrow people. It's okay. You know, we tend to be under this impression that if we have a friend, we got to have them for life. Not necessarily. No. Sometimes we outgrow people and it's a new stage in our life, and it's okay to let people go in case it's not making sense anymore. So that would be my advice to you entrepreneurs. And so that pretty much finalizes our segment, ladies. If you have one last thing that you want to say to inspire the entrepreneurs out there, please go ahead and share it if you do. Anything, Lindsay?
Keep pushing. Just keep pushing. You know what you know. This time hasn't changed that. So just keep pushing through it.
Mary?
Believe in your dreams. You can reach them. Believe in your dreams.
Beautiful. Shai?
And whenever you possibly can, do not settle. You know, keep going high, just like Mary just said. You go for it. Just go for it. Go for it. Because if you have a really, really seemingly impossible dream, even if you don't actually reach that specific dream, you'll get really, really close to it and wind up doing things that are astounding.
Yes.
So keep on going.
Awesome. And for me, you know what? The road isn't always perfect, but that's what makes it fun. And that's what makes it amazing. That's what makes life so wonderful. So just understand that, hey, you know what? It's not always going to be perfect. It's not always going to end up the way that you thought it would, but everything happens when it should, as it should. And so just have faith and keep on going.
Yes.
All of you guys, thank you so much. I really enjoyed being part of this panel, and love you all.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.